Insider Jeff Goodman on the Harbor One Hotline. Jeff, what a game yesterday! What a comeback in this series for this Celtics team. How are you?
Yeah, we're well, right? Jason Tatum's well. Everybody who kind of questioned whether he could step up in a big spot, I think that's been answered. Listen, as I tweeted yesterday, I think he's just that guy that you can't find a weakness in his game. So as he starts to get more and more confidence, and he's still young, like he's going to be as good as anybody in this league in a couple of years. I know Luka was phenomenal last night, but the big difference for me is Jason Tatum can still impact on the defensive end. Luka cannot. I just don't think Tatum's got a weakness in his game, period. Other than complaining to the refs or, maybe some of that immaturity and leadership, vocal. That's not him, though. That's just never going to be Jason Tatum from a leadership standpoint. He's going to be a lead by example type guy.
But I think that goes away when he starts getting the superstar calls that somebody like Giannis gets. I mean, it bothers me. It certainly bothers me when he's whining all the time. But I think he's cut down on it considerably, and he doesn't get the calls. I mean, it's ludicrous. I don't that they didn't call a charge on Giannis till the second half yesterday, or not very often in this series. So I understand that part.
I'll say this, though. He made his bed early on in his career when he was complaining when he hadn't done anything yet. And I remember telling him that over and over and over, like, better be careful because you're going to be that guy that refs aren't going to give you that call when you deserve it later on in your career because, again, you've been waving your arms, yelling, screaming, complaining when you're in your second year and you just haven't done enough yet to do it.
Jeff, Paul Pierce tweeted out in the first series that Tatum passed KD. I strongly believe in this series that we saw Tatum pass Giannis. I think he's a more skillful player. Like I said, I think, like you said, he can impact it on both ends of the courts. Do you feel like he has passed Giannis when it comes to looking at being the most complete player in the NBA?
He's the most complete, yes. That doesn't mean he's past Giannis or KD, in my opinion. I still think you can put him in a hat, depending on the series, depending on how, the matchups, everything like that. I hate to say it. I don't think there is a number one player right now in the NBA. We've had that for so long, right, with LeBron, that we've never really had maybe a little bit of a debate over the last couple of years with a healthy KD. But for the most part, it's been LeBron for so damn long. There's been no debate. Now you've got a debate, right? KD healthy. LeBron, I think, out of the equation now. Luka, Ja, Tatum. There's so many guys and they're so different. So I would say, yes, most complete. The best way to really describe Jason Tatum. I don't know if he's still the best. I mean, again, Giannis can't shoot. Luka can't guard. Tatum can do everything, but, man, Giannis is still pretty – you give him Middleton in that series, I don't know what happens.
Well, I was just going to say, Jeff, there's a ton of tweets that are out there saying, okay, yeah, the Celtics win, but they did it without the Bucks being able to have Chris Middleton. How big of a difference do you think he would have made for this team in this series?
Huge. I mean, he's an all-star, and he's an understated all-star who does everything and would be that second guy. So Drew Holiday could be the third because there was no third yesterday. No third. Pat Connaughton and your boy didn't step up, right? Grayson didn't step up. Wes Matthews is a non-entity on the offensive end. Portis wasn't great. So then you don't have those guys. What do you have? You have Giannis and Drew. That's it.
Yeah, your best guy was
three guy.
Your best guy was Brook Lopez, who was technically that third guy yesterday.
Early.
Yeah.
Right. He was great early. So Middleton would have made a difference. I mean, listen, any Celtics fan who's saying he wouldn't have is just an outright homer because Chris Middleton's a hell of a basketball player. I'm not saying Milwaukee would have won in 5, but yeah, they probably win the series with a healthy Chris Middleton. And I know Celtics fans will clap back and say, well, if we had a healthy Robert Williams, yeah, Robert Williams ain't Chris Middleton.
Jeff, are we seeing the two best coaches in the NBA in the Eastern Conference Finals?
I don't know if you can say that about Ime yet. I mean, I love him. I freaking love the dude. I give him all the credit in the world for this turnaround because I think he's pushed the right buttons with Tatum, with Brown, with Smart, and then he's pushing all the right buttons against KD, against Giannis. But I don't know if I'm ready to put him in the category of the two best coaches. Spo is definitely one of them. I think Ime's still got a little bit to prove on that end, but man, he's been awesome. And again, when you're divvying up the pie of who to give credit to with the turnaround of this team, Ime deserves the majority of it, in my opinion. I know Tatum and Jaylen Brown have done it, but are they doing it without Ime Udoka calling him out publicly, calling him out privately, holding him accountable, and also figuring out how to utilize those two guys together?
Jason Tatum said post-game essentially looking forward to this rematch for redemption reasons. We were talking about it earlier. Are these essentially the same two teams? Not much has changed, right?
Oh, well, shit. I mean, Jason Tatum looks a little different, doesn't he?
I think we have to. We have to dump out.
Like he's not the same player, guys. Like I know I'm not supposed to swear in the air, being serious a lot, but yeah, like Jason Tatum is not the same player. This is not the same team as 2 years ago. In fact, this doesn't resemble anything like the team I remember seeing a couple years ago because, again, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are playing well together, and Tatum is, I mean, just looking at him physically. Like, put back that tape of a couple years ago, watch him, and he wasn't nearly the player he was now in terms of embracing contact, finishing through contact around the rim. I think this team is – the Celtics are completely different, and honestly, Miami's different right now than they've been because Kyle Lowry isn't healthy. He's got that hamstring injury that he's re-aggravated. And without Kyle Lowry, I don't know. I mean, again, you might have gotten fortunate. I hate using the word lucky, but they might have gotten fortunate again getting Miami at the right time without a healthy Kyle Lowry. And now you got Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. You're starting back. I mean, if I had ever told you would face a starting backcourt of Gabe Vincent and Max Strus to get to the NBA Finals.
Well, Jeff, when you look at the road, I think that's just the way the nature of the beast goes, right? We talked about when Toronto won it a few years ago and they were able to play Golden State without KD. If you're the Celtics looking at this series here, who's the guy that has to step up in this one? Because I feel like Tatum's going to do what Tatum does, but we always talk about that next guy.
I think it's probably Al, the center spot against Bam. Like, I'm not worried. Jimmy's going to get his, but again, I think Tatum and Jaylen Brown will be able to, like Jaylen will have a much better defensive matchup in this series. I think to me it's the bigs. It's the bigs against Bam because he's so versatile. You can run so much through him on the offensive end and also defensively. He's able to switch everything. So I just think that Bam Adebayo is to me that guy that's just so hard. You know, they give him the ball to take it up and offense. You just don't see that in the NBA with guys his size very often. So I think it's, again, I'd love to have a healthy Robert Williams for this one, not to play him 28 minutes, but to give him a completely different look against Bam Adebayo, who's super athletic and super versatile and skilled. And that way you don't have to run Al down and play him so many minutes.
So an easier matchup for Jaylen Brown, but the team overall, what would you say is easier for them? This Heat team or the Bucks?
No, the Bucks were easier just because they didn't have Chris Middleton. Like, Miami's just got so much, and both teams have culture. You just beat a team with culture, whether you did it with Middleton or not. Doesn't matter. Like, that's a team that just won it all, and they believe they can win games like the one they lost yesterday, but. Miami's got that culture, too, that toughness. That's what they have. I mean, they got two of the toughest dudes, toughest top 10 guys in the league, and Butler and P.J. Tucker and Kyle Lowry. Those are three dudes who are just going to come out and try to take it to you. But, again, I think Lowry's help, just like Middleton's help, is going to be so, so important in the outcome of the series.
Jeff, when you look at this series, I know he didn't play a ton in the last series is Duncan Robinson. He did perform well against the Celtics. Now, it was a couple years ago in the bubble. Is there a chance that the Celtics see him in this series because of his ability to shoot the three ball?
Yeah, I mean, if they're not scoring. The problem is Duncan now is behind Max Strus, who is a kid who came out. He was kind of like Duncan, came out as a non-D1 player, transferred to DePaul. It wasn't supposed to make it in the league. Now is starting. The difference with Duncan and Max is Max can really, really guard. That's why he's taking all of Duncan's minutes, and he can shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the biggest thing for Miami is they want that culture of toughness and defense like the Celtics are trying to build and have built over the last few months. The difference is Miami's done it a lot longer. So Duncan will play, and he's going to play. Max Strus isn't making shots. That's why he'll play, because Max can really, really guard the perimeter.
All right, Jeff, call it right now.
Yeah, I'll take the Celtics. I'll take the Celtics right now because I don't buy Kyle Lowry and his hammy right now.
6.
Dang, I watch him at the end of that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be at this point. I would say yes, it's going to be a long series, and I think again, to me, you got to get those guys, Grant Williams, like Pritchard. Those guys got to be ones. I think you know what you're going to get out of Tatum for the most part. I know he's not going to shoot a high percentage every game, but even if he doesn't, he's going to make his teammates better. Jaylen Brown's going to be good. Horford's going to be Horford. To me, it's some of those other guys. Can Grant Williams have not a game like he had yesterday, but just be a consistent three-point shooter who takes some of the pressure off Tatum and Brown and also gives them space to operate?
All right, Jeff Goodman, always great to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll talk to you as we move through this next series.
You got it. Thanks, guys.